This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, great. So, I think my screen is visible for you. It's a first class. So we will see that like no. So the installation of the required softwares we'll do in the first class. Then the subsequent classes we will be discussing about the Java we will be discussing. First, we'll make it our dev environment ready. So as we are going to learn the Java full stack. The first thing is when you are doing the dev environment, we need to install the JDK. Okay, first thing is we have to install the JDK. Whether JDK is installed in our machine, what are the machine we are going to use it here, whether it is installed or not, we need to see that. Okay, you can open the command prompt, either Windows or Mac, whatever you are using. Just you type the Java hyphen version. If you get this command not found, that means Java is already installed in your machine. Yes, you will be saying that's a Java version, where you will be saying that what is the version it is going to tell that here. And here we are going to use the Java. What is the Java? And here we are using the Java C, Java compiler. Okay, these three commands, if it is executed without any errors, like no command not found if it is executed, that means you have installed the Java on your machine. Suppose if it is not installed, okay, yes, you can go to the JDK download. So you can type it in search bar. You can type it here. And what is the latest version? Like no, the latest version is JDK 21. This is the JDK 21. We can choose that here. Depends on your operating system. What operating system you are using? You could use like no, if you are using the Windows. I'm going with the MSI installer. We are going here. We can copy this here. This is a place where you can choose depends on your operating system what you want. You can you can download that here. Once you download, the installation is a simple in case of the Windows. Even Mac also it would be the same. So you download this is a installer MSI installer you are going to download, and just you follow the installation wizard. Like click next. You follow that. Apart from that, you need not to do anything during this installation of the JDK. The installation of the JDK is so very simple. So here you are going to take the latest version of the JDK you have downloaded from the internet. Then you would be installing this. And once you are done with the installation, uh, you can go and open the command prompt and you can check that here whether those commands are working or not. Okay. Or if the laptop is not installed any of these softwares, like if you want me to install, you can you feel free to tell or ping me that so that you will be presenting this screen and I will be explaining this and I will be installing all these required softwares will install. Okay. Can someone please? If it is already installed, then there is no problem. If it is not installed, so that I will make you presenter where you can install your in your machines so the softwares you can install. Make the session is interactive, guys, so that you will not feel bored. Uh, because this, if you are already familiar with that, definitely you are going to like this. This setup may not take more than 30 minutes, not more than that 30 minutes. You can say that here. So already, since in my machine it's already installed, all the things has been installed. I don't want to uninstall and install once again. That's the reason. Just I'm keeping this here. The next one is we are going to install the once you are done with this JDK. Where in Windows or Linux when you are using here, suppose if you have a multiple versions of the JDKs are available, we can we can set it in the environment variables. We can set it in the environment variables. Just I'll explain this here how we are going to use this here. Java underscore home, and here we can set the path. Then one more is we are going to set it as a Java underscore home. This is Java underscore home is the directory where your JDK is installed. Where your JDK is installed. Suppose in my case, if I take this here, it is installed in C drive. Okay, it is installed in C drive. Then there is a program files and there is a Java. This is a place where my JDK is installed. Okay, I want to set my Java home as a this. In order to set that here, we have a edit environment variables, edit system environment variables. We are going to edit the system environment variables where you would be defining the environment variables you are going to define. And here we are going to tell that here what is a JDK home. Okay. Here we would be saying it as a JDK home. You will define a new variable you are going to define here. And suppose if we delete this variable, I'm going to define a new environment variable. This is my path. Here we are going to set it as a Java underscore home. Okay. I'll be saying it as a Java underscore home. And then there is a path variable. Inside this path variable, you are going to add the Java underscore. This is a new variable we are going to add it here. Okay, I'll be telling here. Inside the first Java underscore home, what is your home directory? In my case, this is the one. And you edit the path variable. You edit the path variable. In case of the Windows, edit the path variable and just you say that here you add a new variable. New you add it here, and with this new, you would be saying it as a percentage Java underscore home percentage. You will be saying it as a bin directory. We are going to specify it. We are going to say it as a bin directory. You would be specifying here percentage. You would be saying it as a bin directory. I would be saying that. So this is a path variable. You are going to add it here. Now this is a place where your executable files are available. Most of the Java executable files are available in the path variable. It is available. That's it. There is no need not to do anything else. Just you are going to set the Java home and your path we are going to add it here. This is not mandatory. Most of the modern operating system automatically it will take that. Suppose in case when you execute this here Java C, if you say that it says that here unknown command, if you found that, then you have to add this is a Java home and path we need to add it here. If not, then you can ignore this. Like now automatically it is going to set the Java path automatically during the installation itself. It is going to add to the path variables. So this is the one thing. First you have to install the JDK. Now I have installed the JDK. Whether things are working or not, how do I check that here? How do I check that here my Java code is working or not? Okay, I'm going to clear the screen. There is something called the concept called the JShell. If you are using the latest version, so there is a concept called the JShell. You click on that JShell. This is going to open this here where you can say that here 2 plus 3 equal to how much or 2 into 3 equal to how much, something you are going to say that here. If you get the result properly, that means your Java installation is fine and even JShell also working. Suppose if your laptop is having the Java 8, below Java 8 if you are having here, Java, if you are not having the latest version, you may not get the JShell option, you will not get it. The JShell option only you will get it in the latest versions, you will get it here. If you are using the old versions, you will not get the JShell option, you will not get it here. Okay, so now I'm going to exit slash exit. Is it? Always I forget this. Yeah. Dot slash exit. We are going to say that here. Goodbye. It is saying that here. So just you type the JShell. Let me clear CLS. JShell I am going to create it here. And when I'm executing this here, when it is going to tell that here, hey, this is the interactive shell. It is going to open. And where we want to do something here. Suppose if I want to do here for int I equal to 1 to I less than or equal to 10 times and I plus plus, I'm going to do this here. This is a place where we want to print the system.out.println and some message I want to print it here. So I'll be saying it as a hello. We're going to write it here and we are going to close this here and you execute this here. Hello 10 times it's printing here. So my Java interactive shell is working. There is no problem. So these interactive shells are useful when we are working on the project. Suppose you got some doubt. how this is behaving, just in order to quickly check that here, you would be using that. Just I'm going to say that exit, and which is going to say that as a goodbye, it is saying that here, there is no problem. Now, similarly, you want to write a one simple hello world example you will be writing, and you are going to test that whether things are working or not. My Java, whatever I have done the installation, Java compiler and Java runtime environment, both are working or not. In order to test that here, you can open the notepad we are going to open here. Okay, just let me open the notepad. And this is a place where you are going to say that as a, here we are going to say it as a one class I am going to create it here. Public class, hello world, I'm going to write it here. And this is my just hello Java, first Java program I'm writing here, public class hello world. And here we are writing the public static void main. This is a main method signature in Java. This is a main I'm going to write it here. And then here you would be writing here, or we can say it as a args. This we are going to say it as a args. And here we are saying it as a one message, we are going to say it as a system dot out dot println. So I'll be saying it as a welcome to Java world. Welcome to Java world. We are going to say that here. Good. You close this here. Now you copy this here. You are going to save this file in somewhere. Like here we are going to save it in which is the directory you want to save that file. Like in the desktop, I'm going to create a one new folder. I'm going to create it here. Here we are going to create a one new folder. We are creating here new folder in the desktop. We'll say it as a new folder. I'm going to rename this to the some name. I'm going to rename. Okay, this is a name. I'm going to give it as a sample, or you can say it as a examples. Examples. I'm going to rename this, and here we would be giving it as a my file name. I'm going to give it as a hello world.java. I'm going to give it here. Okay, this is a simple Java program we created here. Finally, what we did was we created a simple one folder we created here. Examples we created a one folder, and where we have written the hello world we have written here. Hello world is .java we created a file we created here. And when you are writing the your Java program, your class name and what is the class name you have written, your file name also should be the same as that. Okay. Don't worry about this. What is this public static and all these things here? Just I want to ensure that my Java compiler and Java runtime environment installed properly or not. We are checking that here. Now here, if I'm taking here CD desktop, if I'm taking here, okay, here I want to open the my terminal in this directory. I want to open here. In order to open the terminal here, just you click on this here. The terminal is going to open in this directory. Good. Now here we would be saying it is a dir. If I see this here, this has got the one file. That is a hello world.java. I will be doing here Java C hello world.java. I'm going to give it here. So when I give this here, the Java compilation is successful. Now if I look at here, I'll have the two classes, two files. One is a dot class file, another one is a dot Java file. Okay, that means my Java compiler is working fine. In order to execute this here, we are going to give the hello world. We are going to say that here. Okay, yes, we are going to say it as a Java hello world, which is printing the welcome to Java world. After installing the your JDK, you write a simple hello world example. Okay, you open the notepad and suppose if I'm taking the my file name is hello world.java, and here we are writing in the file content is public class. I'm saying it as a hello world, and here we are going to put this here, and inside this we are going to write a main method. This is a public static void main string array as a args. And what is the message you want to say that here? This is a message. I want to print it here system.out.println, where we are going to say it as a welcome to Java world. Okay, you close this. This is what. This is a class beginning, this is a class end, this is a method beginning, this is a method end, and every statement, whatever you are writing here, it will have the end statement in Java. Okay, here we are going to store the end statement, we are going to store it here. and finally you will be writing this. This is my simple Java program we are going to create it here. This is a Java program we have written here, and the Java program whatever you have written, that that the Java program, when you are saving this program, and what is the public class name you have given, your class name that we are going to give it as a Java. Then to test, to compile this program, you have written in a high level language, you have written here. To compile this program, you will be using the command called the Java C. Java C hello world.java. We are going to give that here. Once compilation is successful, then it is going to generate a dot class file. It is going to generate here. Hello world dot class file is going to generate here. Once this dot class file is generated, in order to execute your Java example, you would be saying it as a hello world. No class or nothing extension. Just you would be doing here. How this process will happen? First, you are going to write your hello world.java. Then we are going to use the Java C hello world.java. Once compilation is successful, then we are going to give the Java hello world. We are going to say these are the steps. So with this, we will show that here, hey, our JDK installation is proper and it is working fine. Only this example we are writing, even though we did not understand most of the things, but still we are going and writing that here to ensure that my JDK environment is proper. It is things has been installed properly or not. To check that, you would be doing the small example we are going to execute. So this is the step number one. During the installation, you can do that here. Any questions here? Any questions?
Hello, sir.
Yeah, go ahead. Please.
Sir, is this in introduction class, sir?
Correct, correct.
Sir, actually, I'm non-IT background, so go slow, sir. And everything is fusion for me, sir.
Okay, don't worry. We haven't started anything. Just I'm telling that once you install this Java you have installed in your machine, whether it is working or not, how to test that. Just I'm telling you 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 created this example and you execute these commands. I'm sharing that here. Okay. Some of the things we even if we don't know why do you need to take a public class hello world. This all these things we don't understand that. Just you type it as it is. You just check that here whether these commands are working or not. Yeah. So whether you are IT background or non-IT background, suppose if you buy a something, you need to test that now. So whether things are working or not. In case of the Java you have installed, okay, when you install the Java, whether the installation is proper or not, how do you check that here? You will write a simple example, you will write it, and you are going to execute and test that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying here. First, you download this is a place you download the JDK, then you install this. Okay, once installation is over, whether it is working or not, how do you check that here? There are multiple ways to check that here. Once you have installed that here, you can use the Java C command. You shouldn't be getting any errors. Like no, it is giving you several options. It is giving here. That means my JDK installation is proper. And similarly, you can check that here Java version. So this is gives the version means that Java is working fine. And the other option is you can open the JShell and we are going to write it as a if it is gives these some options. That means this is also working fine. Okay. Now here there is another option. I'm saying that here you can write a simple hello world example. You can write it here. Then you are going to test. How you are going to test that here? You are going to compile. You will be running this code. So far, this is what I explained. Here we haven't started any programming. Just what are the software you have done that setup? Is it setup is proper or not? We are checking. That's it. Yeah. And one more thing, no, don't keep it in don't keep in like mind that I am non computer science. Those all these things you have to like basic uses of the computers at least you should know, like how to create a file, like how to open the command prompt. Okay, these things, the basics you should aware of that. Okay. uh, Apart from that, so what we did was here. Okay, once again I'm repeating and reproducing this concept, reproducing this once again. We'll see that here. We created in a desktop one folder we created here. What is that? Examples folder we created. So I can delete all these things. So now I want to test that my JDK is working or not. Okay, I am telling here, you created one new file, you created here, new document, and this is a document you open, and you write your Java program, you write it here. How are you going to write this Java program? When I'm writing the first Java program in your writing, even you are doing the first time, you will not also know about that. Now, what you can do here is, what are the code I have written here? You just copy, you paste it here, and you take this file name, and you are going to save this as a file, save as, and here we are going to give it as a hello world.java. We are going to give it here, and you complete this here. Now, if you go back and you see this here, this is a text document is no more required for us. Just we created a hello world Java, I created here. Now I want to test this here. Okay, that I'm not testing my program. I want to test my environment. Now I'm going and opening the terminal here. So here you would say that here Java C. I will give it as a Java compiler. My program name is hello world.java. I'm going to give it here. Okay. This is a compile, then the compiler is working. This, since it is generated the .class file, that means my compiler, we don't have any problem. Is it running the runtime environment? I'll be saying it as a hello world, no class, nothing. Just you will say that here, your Java, you will give your .class file name without .class, we will be giving here, and which is printing the welcome to Java world. That's what we have written in our code. So with this, we will ensure that my Java installation is proper and it is working as expected. Did I understand now? So still you have a still do you have any questions? Yes, no,
Sir, maximize the screens are not visible properly.
not visible properly. Okay. Now, okay, when you are looking at that the GoTo meeting and you keep it as a maximize in your even you will be getting the names and all these things here. Make it as a full screen so that it will be more visible for you. Yeah. Good. So this is a JDK installation, the setup. Okay. Once you are done with that JDK installation, then we need to install the one IDE. Okay, we are going to install the IDE. We are going to install here. And one more thing I'm saying that here, if we don't understand the first class itself, and one more thing is we are not going to solve the very, very complex problems at all. It's a simple and fundamentals we are learning first 1 week. Even first class, if you don't understand, don't worry. So maybe you may be feeling odd man out because you are doing the first time. Okay, the moment you are practicing the every day or 1 week at least, if you practice that here, you will get more familiar with that. Okay, so until we get familiar, things may be new and things may be sometimes it may be bouncing, and don't give up on that. So the moment you practice and the moment you open and if you do on your own, uh, uh, then you will get more familiar and you will feel more comfortable. Okay. Until that, some of the things it will be when you are starting the Java classes, always it will be bouncing. Why should I declare a class? And what is this Java C? What is a Java? Why should I do compilation? These all questions will be running in your mind. So I'm saying that for at least for a few days, just do it. Okay. You follow the night just do it. Okay? So don't think too much about that. You will understand each and every keyword and why I'm using this and what is the purpose of that. You will get to know that. Yeah. Now, you are going to set up the one IDE. We need to set up that here. And in case of the IDE, I'm going to use the IDE called the IntelliJ IDE. We are going to use it here. We have a lot of IDs are available in the market. So we will be taking the IntelliJ idea. We are going to take it here. And this IntelliJ idea, we have a two versions. One is the community edition. Another one is unlimited edition. Okay, we have a one is a community edition and the unlimited versions we are having here. I think community edition, not I think we like no IntelliJ idea community edition is good enough for us. You can download the depends on your operating system. You download the what is the whichever you want. Okay, whichever you want, you choose your operating system. Depends on your operating system. You download that here. Suppose if I'm taking here, this is going to take a around 664 MB. This is a literally big file. Okay, big file it is. Now here during this installation, okay, just what you can do here is after downloading your executable file, you just follow the installation wizard and you install that. Once you are done with your installation, your installation, now here when you are opening the first time, suppose if I'm taking my IntelliJ IDE, just I'm going to quit this here. I'm going to open the IntelliJ IDE. I'm going to open here. Here you will get a IntelliJ IDE community edition. You will get it here once you have done the installation. So you just click on this this icon. Then you are going. It is going to open the IntelliJ IDE community edition. It's going to load it here. First time you may not get this project and all these things. You may not get it here. It will be asking you that, hey, create a project. It is going to ask you that here. Let me show you that here. How when it's loading the first time, how it is going to display. In this case, I have an existing project. That's the reason it is showing the project. It is going to show that here. Okay. Here, when you are doing the first time close project, I'm going to do this here. Okay, cool. Now here you should be getting the something like this. You will be getting the something like this IntelliJ IDE. So here we can create a one new project. You can create it here. Just you click on the new project, and here you can say it as a core underscore Java. I'm saying it as a core Java. I'm going to select it here, and here you by default it will be selecting the like now you can check or you can uncheck that here core Java sample project we are going to create it here. Just we are creating the one sample project we are creating here, and it is going to use the Oracle OpenJDK. The default it is going to pick that what is the JDK. We can change that JDK version, but time being let it be keep that as a default JDK whatever it comes with that. We are going with that JDK directly. We are going here, and here you are creating a Git repository. We can uncheck that now. We may not require now. Just we are creating a one simple project name. We are going to give it here, which location that project has to be created, and just you say that create. This would be creating the one new project. It will be creating your directory, and there is a src. This is the place where it is created, the src folder it's created here, and where you can write a new Java class. You can write it here, or first you can create a package com.careerit.pj core Java. We are going to say that here, and I'm going to create a one new class called the hello world. I'll be saying it as a hello world. I'm going to say that here. To create that here, then we are going to write a main method. We are writing here. This is a main method, and here we are going to print it here. Same thing, whatever you have done it in Notepad, here we are doing the same thing you are doing here. Just you run this here. If you get it output hello world, that means your ID is set up also proper, and it is things are working as expected. Things has been working as expected. You can say that here. This is a way you can ensure that your ID is installed properly or not. We can check that. We can check that here. That's the one reason I'm asking you. If somebody mission is not done with the setup, if you share your screen, I'll make you to install so that you will get a like no others also will get to see that no how to install and how we are going to write a simple hello world example from the scratch, you will get to know that. Yeah, but nobody has responded. That's the reason. If I uninstall and install, it may take the again it may ask the reboot of my machine. So which I don't want to do that. I'm just telling that like how the things like I'm assuming that you are doing the installation, then you are going to create a project. This is what you would be creating the a simple project we are going to create it in the IDE. The code whatever you are going to write written in the notepad, you would be writing here. Why we are going for this IDE is so in case if you don't use the IDE, you are going to create your project, your exam, your Java class by using the notepad. Then you will go to the command prompt to compile your program. Then you will execute if there is any errors in during the compilation. Again, you will go back and fix it in the notepad. Again, you will come back and you will compile that here. These all compilers, debugger, necessary tools to run your Java application, everything is integrated in one place. That we call it as a IDE, integrated development environment, where everything like your compiler, your runtime environment, and your console, everything is in one place. It will be available. So most of the times, or most of the times when you are working in the projects, you would be working with the IDEs. You will not work with the notepad. But initially, to practice to get familiar with the syntax, you may be using the notepad. You would be using. So once you get familiar with the once you get the familiar with the syntax, or when you are working on the projects, so they will be using the one of the IDs you would be using that either Eclipse or MyEclipse or IntelliJ. Equivalent of that IDs they would be using in the projects. Yeah, this is the setup of the IntelliJ IDE. So let me paste that links. So where to go and get that links? Just we are going to you are going here. Okay, IntelliJ IDE. We are going to say download, and you can choose the what operating system you want. Then you can download the IntelliJ IDE. You download the only community edition. Unlimited edition is only free for some months. Then later it will ask you to pay some amount. It's going to ask you. This is a place where you can go and download and install the IntelliJ IDE. You install that here. Yeah. So once you are done with the IntelliJ IDE, how to create the project, that's what I explained now. Once again, I'm going to explain. Just let me explain this here. One second. Okay, in a D drive, I created in a D drive in the folder name called the JIT. I created the core Java example. I'm going to delete this project. Once again, I'm telling you that how to create a project. Just you will see that here. Create a new project. You can say any name. Hello underscore world project. We are going to take here. Hello world project. We are saying here. Then you keep it remaining things as is. You keep it here. Remaining things don't change anything here. Then click on create. This is going to create a one new project. It is going to be created here. And here we have got the SRC directory. Inside this SRC directory, you create a one new package. You will be saying as a com dot some company name, career IT. We are going to say it as a CJ Core Java. I'm creating this a package name, and where we are going to create a one Java class. I'm creating here. So this is the class name is Hello World. I'm saying hello world. I'm saying here. Then you create a main method. So public static void main, and just we are writing the hello world system.out.println hello world. We are going to say that here. Now you can run this application. Just you are going to run this. We are going to run this example where it is working fine. With this, our development environment is ready. Development environment is ready. JDK's installation is done, and the IDE installation also it is done. Okay. Now here, when it comes to the Java, the background of the Java, if you are taking here, Java is a programming language. We know that here, and it is also a platform. It is also a platform. Suppose if I'm taking my operating system, I'm using the Windows, or maybe I'm using the Mac, or we have got the Ubuntu. This is the most widely used operating system. There are thousands of operating systems are available. So the Windows, Linux. Okay, here we are going to use the Windows machine, and here we are using a Mac, or here we are going to use the Linux. You will be taking the Linux, we are going to take it here. Or Linux or Unix family, you are taking here. Now, whether you use the Windows or Mac or Linux, first you have to install the JDK. Here we need to install the JRE. JDK we are going to install here. Java development. Like we have two things here. JDK, there is something called the JRE. JDK stands for the Java Development Kit. JDK stands for the Java Development Kit, and JRE stands for the Java Runtime Environment. Okay, so Java Development Kit, okay, Java Development Kit, and Java Runtime Environment. Java Runtime Environment. We are going to say that here. We have two things. JDK Java Development Kit, JRE is a Java Runtime Environment. Now here, when you install, if you are taking the Windows, we have to take the Windows JDK, we need to take it here, and we are going to install the JDK on Windows. Similarly, we are going to install on the Mac. You will be taking the, you will be downloading and you will be installing here. And in case of the Linux also, we are going to take it here. Now, this is what my machine, which contains the JRE, JDK and JDK both are installed, but during the runtime, you required only JRE. Suppose you are a developer, you need to install the JDK as well. So once I am done with that here, like what are the program I am going to write it here? Java is a high level programming language. Like you are writing your program like English. Like what are the program you have written here? This is like English. No? So this program we need to execute. We need to execute this program. Okay, this is a program we are going to write it here. This is a program I have written here. This program is you are written in a high level, like English you are written here. But this needs to be executed in your operating system. It has to be executed here. Now, what you are going to do this here, this high level language, we want to convert it into the mission understandable language. We need to convert it. Whatever the high level language you are going to write it here, that needs to be converted into the what mission can understand. To do that here, we are going to use the compilers. We are going to use it here. Okay. The compiler job is it will convert high level language into the mission understandable language. Now, whatever the Java program I have written, I am going to compile this program by using the Java compiler. Java C stands for the Java compiler. Okay, you take this file, you compile it, and this is a compilation time. I am going to say that here. What is your class name? I am going to say that here. To compile this program, we are saying here. Now I am using the compiler. Okay, you compile this program. Once you compile this program, in case of the other programming languages, if you take the C and C++, it is going to generate a directly executable files. It is going to generate. But in case of the Java, it won't generate the executable files. Instead, it will generate the dot class files. It is going to generate. The moment your compilation is success, hello world dot class file it is going to generate here. So when you compile your program, so on compilation of your program, if the compilation is successful, okay, if the compilation is successful, so then it will generate the dot class file it is going to generate. This dot class files contains the bytecode instructions. This bytecode is only understood by the JVM. There's something called the one more word, JVM. Okay. Java Virtual Machine. Java Virtual okay. Java Virtual Machine. So this JVM is a part of the here JDK. Okay, here JRE it is part of that here. This is a JVM and this is a we can take it as a JRE. JRE, if you take this here, this is a component. If I take this here, JDK. If I take the when you do install the JDK, when you install the Java, this will have the JDK. JDK internally, this will have the JDK. Okay, this is a JDK Java. When you install that here, this will have the JDK. Internally, then we will have something called the JRE. Two things it is going to install here. This is JDK, and then there is something called the JRE, Java Runtime Environment. Okay. This internally it contains the JVM, it contains here, and here we are going to take it as a, this is a JVM. This is what we are going to say that here. This is a JVM, this is a JRE. Let's put it here, JRE. I'm going to write it here, JRE. Okay. JRE, we are going to take it here. This is what? The moment you install the Java, this is what it would be installing here. These are the things it is going to be installing here. JDK. So the moment you install the Java, Java is going to install the JDK and JRE. JRE internally contains the JVM. JRE internally contains the JVM. So JDK, Java Development Kit, JRE is a Java runtime environment, and JVM is a Java virtual machine. Now here, this dot class file, whatever you created, once you dot class file is generated, then you can execute these dot class files by starting the Java runtime environment. How do you start the Java runtime environment? Java hello world. We are going to do this here. The moment you do this here, okay, then this is going to load. Okay, this is what it happens here. Now here we are going to take it here. The moment you give this here, this is what. So similarly, you are going to execute. This is what it is. Now, okay, what are the dot class? Once you compile your program, you can run it on any operating system wherever JVM is present. Okay, here JVM is present, here JVM is present, here JVM is present. So the program can be executed on any operating system wherever JVM is present. Now here, if we take that here, Java is a platform independent. Once you compile your program, you can go and run it on any operating system. How did they get that behavior? So by using the Java virtual machine concept. Like no, whenever you install the Java, internally it is going to install the JDK and JRE. JRE internally contains the JVM. This is what the Java program will be executed on your machine. First, you write a high level code, then you are going to convert into the what machine can understand. That's nothing but the intermediate file, that's a dot class file. Then you are going to run that program. Java, we are going to say it as a hello world, which is going to execute on your operating system. So the job of the compilers is to convert whatever the high level language you have written, to convert into the what machine can understand. That job will be taken care by the compilers. Compilers are interpreters. Okay, here we are going to use the Java compiler you would be using here. So this is the way your Java example is going to Java examples, whatever you are writing. These are the steps it will be taking care. Okay. So even internally, how this is a memory allocation is happen and how it works, those things don't worry at this point of time. Now you need to get familiar with the what is a Java. Java is a programming language, and as well as it's a platform. And when you install the Java, it is going to install the two things, JDK and the JRE. JRE internally contains the JVM. This is the heart of the Java, where all your program execution, everything, memory allocation, allocation, deallocation. So, like no, everything will be taken care by the garbage collection. Everything will be taken care by the JVM. So JDK stands for the Java Development Kit. JRE is a Java runtime environment, and JVM is a Java virtual machine. Now, when you are learning any programming language, if you are learning that here, learning the syntax, maybe it is easy, but thing is that like you need to understand the problem statement properly. Then how your approach. Those are the things main important here. Suppose if I'm taking a simple example, forget about the programming languages, how we are going to solve that here. Suppose if I'm taking the three numbers I'm taking here. I'm taking the three numbers I'm taking here. I need to find the sum of these three numbers. Sum of three numbers we need to find it here. Suppose if I'm saying here telling you 1, 2, 3. Definitely you will not take a pen and paper. Hey, anyhow you are saying the 1, 2, 3. 1 plus 2 is a 3, 3 plus 3 is a 6. You are going to tell the answer. Suppose I'm saying that number is a 99891, and here we are going to say that 99 something. We are going to say that here 98901. We are going to say that here, and here we are going to take it here. This is the three numbers I want to add it here. Definitely we will not remember these numbers unless until you are mathematically good and your memory power is good. You won't remember these numbers. Now what we will do here? You will take a first pen and paper. You are going to take it as a, hey, this is my number one. This is my number two. I'm going to take it here, number one and number two. And here we are going to take the number three. We are going to take it here. Okay, this is my number three. We will take it here. This is what I'm taking the number three. I'm going to take it here. I got the number one, number two, number three. Then you are going to do the addition here, like no. So if you are in school mathematics, if you remember that here, like no, you will put the proper positions. Then we are going to add it here. This is the number one value. Then sum you will do that here. Finally, we will store that sum into the some variable, some fields, and we are going to tell that what is the result of this here. This plus this plus this. What is the result? We are going to take it here. Okay. Finally, you will say that here. This is the answer. You are going to tell that here. The same thing if you are writing the programming, how we are going to write it here. First, we will take the what is the data type we are going to use it here. This is the number one. Suppose if I am taking the 2 into number 2, I am going to take it as a 3 into number 3. I am going to take it as a some value. You can assign any value. I am just making it as a this. Now I want to find the sum. Into sum equal to number 1 plus number 2 plus number 3. Finally, I want to display the result. This is a place where we are going to display the, and you want to display that result. So to show that sum, we are going to say that as a sum system.out.println message. We are going to use it here, and you would be printing here. Now, what is this? This int? We are going to take it here. In any applications, when you are working with that, we will be dealing with the one is a character data type, another one is a number data type, and another one is a boolean data type. Okay. So when you take the character data type, it can be a name, it can be a description, maybe product name, maybe service name or description. So whatever you put it in a double quote, like suppose if I'm taking a collection of characters, we call it as a characters. We can say that here, character set. We can say that here. Suppose if I'm taking the name of the person is, we are going to write it as a something Krish. We are going to take it here. So similarly, if I'm taking the number, if I'm taking the age, height, then we are going to take it as a salary. Okay, then we are going to take it as a discount. These are the numbers data. Numbers we are going to take it. Age is a 23. Suppose if I'm taking the IT equal to 5.6, and here salary equal to, we are going to say it as a some 2 lakh 10,000. We are going to say that here some 2 lakh some above something we are taking the salary. And discount equal to, we are going to say it as a 5 percentage, or we can say it as a 0.05. We are going to say that here. When I take this number, sometimes number without fractions, sometimes numbers with the fractions. So number with the fractions, we call it as a floating point values. Floating point values. Number without any fractions, we call it as a integer values. Integer values, we can say that. One is a floating point values, another one is a integer values. You would be saying that here. The floating point values will have the decimal places. Fractions, it will have it here. Or whereas the integer doesn't have this. Now when I'm declaring this variable, I'm telling that, hey, my variable is a number, which is of type integer. We are going to say that here. It will not have any decimal places. My variable name is. Now internally what happens is here, this is your memory. If you take that here, we are creating the three variables you are creating here. This is the number one, some memory location. The memory location allocation will happen depends on the data type. I use the integer data type. It is going to take the 4 bytes of memory. It is going to take it here. And the name of this variable is given it as a number one. Similarly, we are going to take it as a number two, number three. We are creating the three variables. You are going to create it here. Okay, here we are taking the three variables we created here, and each variable name we are going to give it here, and inside that we are going to store the value. Suppose here 2, here we are going to store it as a 3, and here we are storing it as a 4. Okay, this is the number one, and this is the place where we are going to take the number 2. Okay, this is number 2, and we are going to take it as a number 3. We are taking here the name given to the memory location. The name given to the memory location, we call it as a variable. You can say that here. This is a okay. This is a place where we are going to say it as a. This a value is the number 2. This is a value we are going to set as a number 3. We are going to say that here. Number 1, number 2, and number 3 we are going to take it here. Now what I'm doing here is when I'm doing the evaluating the expression number 1 plus number 2 plus number 3, value at the number 1, value at the number 2, value at the number 3, we get this value in the memory location. You are getting this value at the memory location, value at the memory location. You are going to take it here. Then finally we are adding all the values, and that result we are going to store it into the another variable called the sum. And I want to display for my user what is the sum value I want to display here. To display that here, system.out.println, I'll be saying it as the sum is we are going to display the what is the sum value plus sum we are going to display that. That's it. So how you are doing the mathematically, like by using the pen, paper and pen, or maybe calculator, how you are doing that here? You are writing a program. Hey, I have a three variables. I want to do the sum of these three variables. The result I am storing in a sum value, sum variable, and finally I would be displaying the sum. Now to write this program, what you could do here is you are going to create one new file. We are going to create it here. Okay, file. We are going to create a new tab. I am going to create it here. Then first you are going to write it here, public class. What is this program? Sum of three numbers. Okay, I'm going to give the class name as a sum of three numbers. And inside that we are going to write a main method. We are writing here, public static void main string array args. Okay, this is a one thing. In other programming languages, main method will be the just it is a main, but Java also coming up with that concept. You need not to write the public static void main, all these things we need not to write it here. Maybe Java 2022 we may version 22 we may see that feature, but currently whenever you are writing the main method, this is the main method signature. At this point of time, you just to take it here. Whenever you are writing the main method signature is public static void main. This is the way you are going to write it here. Now what is that? My requirement is int number 1 equal to, I'm taking 100, can int number 2 equal to 20, int number 3 I'm going to take it as a 30. I am taking the three variables. I'm asking my Java runtime environment. You create a one variable with the number 1 and assign that value as a 10, number 2, number 3, and I want to find the sum. In order to find the sum, we are taking the another variable sum equal to value at the number 1 plus value at the number 2 plus value at the number 3. Finally, we are going to print the system.out.println. The sum is okay. Now we are going to print the sum value. I'm going to print it here. Okay. If you take this here, this program, and we need to save this program, we are going to save it as a file name .java. We are going to give it here. Okay, this is a one more Java program we have written here. Suppose I miss the syntax here. Okay, I miss the syntax at the end of the line. I missed here. Now I'm going to compile my program. So if I see this dir, I have a sum of numbers. We are having the one more Java file we are having here. First, we need to compile the program. Java C sum of two numbers. I'm going to compile this here. It is going to give the compilation error. was syntactically you made something wrong. We cannot proceed further. You just, why don't you correct it that it is saying that here. Now I'm going and correcting that here one, and here this one also I corrected here. Now I'm going to compile this program. There is no problem. And now here I want to run this program. I'm going to use the Java sum of two numbers, no class, nothing. Just you are going to execute. Okay, sum of two numbers, no, nothing. Just you are going to execute. The sum is 60. It is going to print it here. To compile this program, I'm going to use the Java C and your file name, which is going to be compiled. And to run this program, you are going to don't give any extension. Just you give the Java. The sum is 60. It is going to print it here. This is a way you would be writing the simple example we are going to write it here. What I'm doing here is, so here, what are the program I have written here? Now we'll discuss once again. What we did was, first we created a one file. What is that? Sum of two numbers, sum of three numbers dot Java. Three numbers dot Java. I created a file. In this file, what is the code we have written? We have written it as a public class. Sum of three numbers. To opening the class, you close the class. Now I open the class and I close the class I created here. Then we are going to write a main method. So the main method signature is public class, public static void main string array, and we are going to take the args. We are going to write it here. This is the main method beginning. This is the end of the main method. Now here we want to write the, what do you want to write it here? So what is the logic you want to do that here? What is the combinations you want to do that here? You would be writing inside the main method. Here I am taking the int number 1 equal to, I have taken it as a 10. Int number 2 equal to, I am going to take it as a 20. I have taken it as a 20. Int number 3 equal to, I am going to say it as a, number 3 equal to, I am going to take it as a 30. Now I want to find the sum. Int sum equal to number 1 plus number 2 plus number 3. I am doing here. And finally we are going to display that here. System dot out dot println. I can print the sum is, we are going to print the sum value, you are going to print it here. Okay, or we can print the directly result itself. If you don't want to this, just you are going to print the sum value, you are going to print it. Once you done this program, now I have written the high level language I have written here. Now we need to convert into the mission understandable language. For that we are using the Java C compiler. Sum of, like you are going to give the, this is a program we are going to give here. At Java you will be giving here. Now once its compilation is successful, we are going to say that here sum of, this is a program you will be giving here, and you will be seeing the output of the console. The same thing if you are doing with the IDE. Okay, how are you going to do that here? You are going to create a new class. I am creating here sum of three numbers. You are going to write it here. Then you are going to write a main method. This is generated the main method, and I have to take the three variables int A, int B, int C. I am adding this, and here we are going to print the, just we want to print the sum value. I want to print it here. I am printing the sum value. You would be doing the sum value. Now I am going and running this here, run, which would display the sum value is 60. It is going to display. It's displaying as a sum value is 60. So this is the way you can write a basic examples. You can write it here. The simple example, we can take it and we can write it here. With this, we are sure about that. Like our environment is ready. Like I could create a Java example. I can run it in a command line, and at the same time, I could create a project by using the IDE. And in the IDE also, I could execute these programs. I can execute that. So we can conclude that my Java environment is ready. These two softwares are mandatory, and then we need to install the other things like Maven. We need to install here Maven, and then we are going to install the VS Code, and then we are VS Code, and then there is something called the JIT we are going to install here. Okay. What is the installation of the JIT, how to do that here, Maven and VS Code. We will see it in the next class. So first you do the basic setup and you execute your hello world examples and you install your IDE. Then you create a project and again you execute this you execute these two sample examples you create and you execute that. With that you know how to create a class and at the same time you know how to write a main method and you are writing the basic example you will get familiar. Yeah. In the next class, I'll show you that how we are going to install the Maven and VS Code and JIT and what is the use of that. I'll explain those. Before we close, any questions here? Any questions? Okay. Bhargavi, Venu. Yeah, somebody was asking a question. Venu. Yeah, go ahead, Venu. There are two Venus are there. Any questions? Okay, you are speaking, but I'm unable to hear. Fatima, Akila.
Excuse me,
Yeah,
how
Bhargavi.
we can access you return the file
How?
as well?
How?
How can we
Okay.
access this?
Okay, this is the file. I'll be sharing in the link. You can access that. Meeting chat, I will be sending that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. I'm pinging the link. You can see that here. Please send the links in the chat box. Yeah, I did that. Okay. When you are looking at this, so especially I've seen that half of the window, if you open the chat box, chat things and other things you will see only very teeny portion. You will see that here. Ensure that you are maximizing the your teams. So just you are seeing the what are the screen I'm presenting. Yeah. Uh, yeah. And recordings will be shared with you. Maybe in a couple of hours they will share with you the recordings. You can see. Yeah. If you have any question, like any, if you miss something, you can go through the recording and you can follow that. And one thing is, don't get scared of the like the installation of the softwares or or typing this code. Like you initially you may make mistakes. That's okay. You may make mistake. Even simple hello world example also will not execute. You may miss the comma. You may make the data type declaration. All these things will happen. So first 1 week, whatever I'm telling, what are the examples I'm executing, you try to reproduce that. Once you get familiar with the syntax, definitely you can go on to change that examples and you can create your own examples. You can create. Yeah. Thank you guys, and we'll see you tomorrow.